everyone, and welcome back to the Life Scope channel. On your way in, be sure to like, share, definitely subscribe, and support the channel. It's always appreciated. So I really don't want to waste any time because this literally happened yesterday. I was watching a scene in a film that I absolutely have seen so many times before, but yet this time it was something different. So let's go into the scene and talk about it. Okay, so I think I may have found a Mandela effect, at least for me. Now, I love Teen Wolf. I used to watch it in the late 80s as a little kid. I think it came out either in the early 80s or kind of like in the mid 80s. But it was already out technically before I was born. So I literally like watching Teen Wolf, right? And last week I was like, I want to watch Teen Wolf. I haven't seen it in a long time. For some reason, that thought like came to my mind that I want to watch Teen Wolf. I wonder, is it on? So yes, it was on Tubi. It wasn't on last week when I looked for it, but then I came across it and I was like, oh, okay, Teen Wolf on. I'm gonna watch it. So yesterday I was looking, or actually day before, I was looking at Teen Wolf. So that would have been Tuesday, right? But then I had fell asleep on it. And then when Wednesday morning comes in, it's like early, like 5 in the morning. So I wake up yesterday morning and I was like, I want to finish watching Teen Wolf, right? So I'm kind of just laying around, not really ready to get up yet, and probably was going to fall asleep on Teen Wolf again, because when I cut it on at the part I left off at, I had my eyes closed and I was listening to it. So this is the part that's coming up. Now, as you can see on the screen, Pamela has told Scott that Kurt wants him in the play. And then it's going to cut to the scene that I have an issue with, because I'm like, I don't remember it being like this. But if you guys remember it or you don't, please tell me, because I'm just really interested in knowing if it's just me or do other people remember it as well. So I'm going to play it. Hopefully it'll allow me to play it without me having to take it out. But if I can't play it and it YouTube won't let me like upload it, I'll just have to put the screenshot up and just try to play the sound. But let me go ahead and play this. So check this out.
Here, Pamela, this is for you. It's too big for me. There are some advantages, Scott. Admit it.
Catch, here it comes. Boom!
You can murder my family. You can ravage my body.
But I beg you, with all that is decent and holy, don't destroy my plantation.
Sergeant, burn the fields, and when you're done with that, burn the house.
Okay, so I'm still listening, but I got my eyes closed, right? I'm laying in bed, I'm still listening. And that's the correct line that Scott says. So I'm still just like, okay, or whatnot. But see, here's the thing that made me open up my eyes and sit up, and I'm like, that's not right.
Wolf person, whatever your name is. That was really...
Thanks, babe. I love you.
Something.
Okay, so what was wrong with that scene? Well, when I was a little kid, the version that I remember was Scott. He was not the wolf. He was himself. And he delivered the line talking about burn the fields. When you're done with that, burn the house. And Kurt, when he starts saying wolf person, he was like, I need you to wolf out, wolf it up. because he wasn't the wolf, and Scott wanted to play the role as himself. But the only reason that they even wanted Scott to be in the play in the first place was because he was the wolf and he was becoming so popular. So when I hear Kurt say that line about wolf person, I'm like, okay. But then when I don't hear him say wolf out, wolf it up, I literally open up my eyes and then I'm like, wait a minute. He's not supposed to be the wolf right now at this scene. He's supposed to be himself. So I literally sat up, literally got up. Then I was up for like the rest of the day yesterday. I was like, they done changed Teen Wolf. Now that's what I was saying to myself. I'm just joking around like they done changed Teen Wolf. This is not the version I remember as a little kid. It's only in this scene that I can remember. It's only this particular scene. And when you look at it, this version could just easily flow into everything. Like if you didn't even know, or if you didn't think about it, even if you forgot and you just look at this, you wouldn't have an issue with it because it actually goes into everything, because they wanted him to be the wolf. But I was like, no, that's not the one that I grew up with. He was Scott. That's why Kurt was like, wolf it out, wolf person and everything. And I don't know, for some reason it was like I was waiting to hear those words of him saying wolf out, wolf it up. And he just didn't. So in this next scene, it goes into Pamela being in her dressing room and Scott comes in and he is himself, right? And that is correct. He is himself because he was himself the whole time in the version that I remember. Because she's asking him questions like, so can you just change into the wolf whenever you want? And he was like, yeah, but sometimes it comes when I don't want it and I have to get worked up. And then that's when she starts flirting with him and taking off her bra, and we're like, well, what do you have to do to get worked up? And then that's when they do their thing in the dressing room. And the principal, he's leaving for the day. He's going to his car. And that's when Scott howls. So just walk with me on this. If Scott wasn't himself, why did she want him to change into the wolf after they do the scene and they're in her dressing room? Like, why was she doing that? I mean, he was just the wolf. So why couldn't he have come in as the wolf if this was the actual version? I mean, this is a version now, but I'm just trying to wrap my head around it for me. If this was the actual version and I'm just having a false memory, like they say, everybody who be remembering stuff, they're having false memories of things. So let's just say I'm having a false memory. Why would he go from being the wolf on stage, then go back to himself, only for her to turn him? We assuming, we don't know because they cut the scene, but he starts howling, so turn him possibly back into the wolf. Now that's an assumption because they don't show if he was or wasn't. He just howls, so it just makes you assume that she brought the wolf out of him, basically. And I'm just sitting up thinking like, yeah, this version, it could just go right into it because he was the wolf one minute, then he's Scott the next minute, then she's making him howl, like she's making him go back to the wolf, so like he could change at any time. But I'm like, no, he was Scott in my version the whole time during this scene. And then only did I think he possibly turned into the wolf when they were having sex in the dressing room, because they cut that scene. So technically I didn't see if he was Scott when they started engaging, or did he turn into the wolf? I only assumed that Pamela helped him turn into the wolf because he was howling when the principal was going to his car. So with that being said, I feel like when it comes to talking about the Mandela effect and what people remember or don't remember, it's a lazy excuse to give when you hear someone say, oh, it's just a false memory. Like, what does that even mean? It's a false memory. You have large groups of people who remember a movie one way, and then another large group of people that remember that same movie a different way. Now, I know that you can get things confused, mixed up. That's fine. That will happen, especially over time. But when you're talking about scenes that people are very adamant about, like I'm very adamant about the scene in Teen Wolf that he was Scott when he showed up to the set in the scene. I'm very adamant about what I remember. So it's like when you have people that's saying, no, this is what it was when I was a kid, or no, I remember it this way. And then you have other people saying that, how could it be a false memory? It's literally just two versions of the same story. That would be even a better explanation to me. And then you can go into talking about, well, is it because parallel universes are overlapping, time shifting, time jumping? Maybe the people who are, for instance, me, maybe in a different timeline. You never know. Like, I would take those examples or those excuses better than just saying it's a false memory. To me, it's a way of just downplaying what somebody may think they saw, didn't see in a particular scene. Like I said, I could see people getting things confused if they haven't seen a movie in a very long time, and people getting things crossed. But then when you have large groups of people doing the Mandela effect, it just makes me question what is going on. Did they change the movie and we just don't know? Because they talking about things going on with the CERN and the technology and the quantum computer and the robots and all of these AI sci-fi things that are happening. It makes me think, okay, well, are people deliberately doing that? Or could it be possible that it's a different timeline for some people? And for folks who are really into that, I would literally like to know. Well, first I would like to know, does anybody remember Scott being himself when he was rehearsing for the play, or was he always the wolf to you? Anyway, I'm not going to make this too long. Just wanted to put that out there because I saw this yesterday, and you know how it is. If you watch something that you saw as a kid, you want to see it exactly the way you saw it back then, because it is tied to your memories. You don't want to see a different version. Then it makes you think, well, what the hell is going on? Anyway, tell me what you think. Don't forget to like, share, definitely subscribe. And oh yeah, until next time. Bye.